Hey, what's up everyone? Rosario here. I'm actually out in Fernie, British Columbia for a work trip, but that's not what today's video is about. Tonight I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin right now and hopefully help you decide whether you should sell or hold on to it. I'm actually really excited because there's been some developments in the cryptocurrency that are actually incredible for me and for for all of us, I think, because of the future of the cryptocurrency. What I'm talking about specifically is two things. First, the acceptance of Bitcoin as the national currency of El-Salvador, and secondly, China's banning of Bitcoin mining, or at least making it significantly harder to mine for Bitcoin in China. There's a lot of headlines out there that are spewing a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, especially about the China situation, so let's address that first. This is actually a good thing for Bitcoin, and it has lowered the price in the short term, but I think in the long term, this will be a net positive. The reason for that is decentralization and energy consumption. China is essentially the most centralized country in the world. Everything in China goes through the central government, whether it's regarding decisions on energy, decisions on environment, decisions on technology, decisions on which companies succeed and which companies fail. Of course, Bitcoin is no exception. People have been worried for years that China dominates the crypto mining space and that China contains all of the world's Bitcoin miners, or at least a very large percentage of them. So if you think past the headline of, oh my God, where did 2/3 of Bitcoin mining go? Think through it and understand that, okay, maybe we don't want all this Bitcoin mining centralized in China with their authoritarian government. I'm sure a lot of you have thought through this already, but I want to kind of put a little bit of a different spin on it. Elon Musk tweeted a few months ago that he was worried about the energy consumption of Bitcoin and that he thought that a lot of the percentage of Bitcoin mining was done through coal and through non-renewable resources. And this turned out to be partially the case, at least because of China's involvement in mining and some of the coal power that was being used to mine Bitcoin in China. With China out of mining Bitcoin, that means that there's going to be a lot of opportunity in North America, in Europe, all over the world for any country, any company that wants to increase the size of their Bitcoin mining, because the network obviously still needs miners in order to verify transactions and in order to produce wealth. With Bitcoin mining network capacity down, that presents a huge opportunity for people in the mining space in North America to increase their capacity to purchase some of the ASICs that were in China and to get them over here and actually set up renewable energy mines that are able to take solar, wind, hydro, nuclear, and all the different sources of energy and use those to mine Bitcoin. This could actually be a really good opportunity for clean energy companies to get into the growth phase of expanding their businesses. The reason for this is that one of the things that Bitcoin provides is a stable source of power draw for energy companies. So when you're building a new energy resource, maybe at first you don't have as many customers and you're hoping to be able to sell your energy. Bitcoin mining facilities are actually great customers for utilities, for people who are generating energy. So if you want to start up a green energy project, you can have a Bitcoin mining facility or a Bitcoin mining company close by, and they can be a consistent, stable customer of yours. And if you get some excess demand, they can reduce their usage because the power price varies. The Bitcoin miners will naturally decide, okay, so now the price is going up because there's more demand, so we might slow down mining. So it's actually a great leveler and enables these energy producers to be able to set up renewable energy sites and actually have a source of revenue early on while demand is starting to increase. In general, I actually think it's a really great thing that China is cracking down on Bitcoin. Also from an innovation perspective and from a human rights perspective, China has committed some horrible atrocities in terms of human rights. I think if we look at this from the perspective of someone who loves innovation, I think this is only going to hurt China. I think if China is not working to develop and grow within the blockchain ecosystem, if they're not using these technologies, if people aren't familiar with them in the country, then there's going to be no way for them to actually adapt and evolve and grow in that space. And I think blockchain is going to be so central to not only finance, but contracts and the ability to do business in the future. So if China is locking its citizens out of cryptocurrency, that's putting them at a huge disadvantage. I've seen that countries without access to certain technologies can fall behind, and I think that with cryptocurrency, that's no different. So overall, if you don't live in China, I actually think this is a really good thing and could present a great opportunity to start a new cryptocurrency mine or a new Bitcoin mine in your area if you have access to cheap renewable electricity. That it's actually something that you could think about getting into. And if you are into that, please reach out to me. I'd love to interview you. I'm looking at actually setting up larger Bitcoin mine of my own. I have several Bitcoin miners now. I have my GPU, I have my ASIC, and I'd like to purchase some more. So reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you to understand more about your industry and maybe get into it myself. I'd be able to invest in some companies that are kind of on the forefront of mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies using renewable resources. With China out of the way, I now want to talk about El Salvador. El Salvador is actually really exciting for me because I believe they're the first country in the world to accept Bitcoin 100% as a legal tender. And what that means is all stores and all vendors in the country have to accept Bitcoin as well as US dollars. The US dollar was the currency of the country for many years. Now the president, who's young, I believe he's close to being a millennial, has decided to say that Bitcoin can be accepted as the currency for the country. And this is really great news for people in El Salvador. I know there might be a lot of misunderstanding about, okay, well, what if I hold Bitcoin and it halves in value? But I think over time, if you're looking at Bitcoin as a long-term play on the stability of currency, to have money that doesn't lose value over time, I think that's incredible. They're actually using the Lightning Network as a layer 2 network that allows them to transact locally at small amounts, so $2, $3, $4, $5, which is something you could not do on the layer 1 Bitcoin network. So I'm really excited about this because it's one, a test of the Lightning Network showing that small, rapid transactions can be conducted using the Bitcoin network, which is huge. And two, that a country like El Salvador would choose to accept Bitcoin because of the potential for stability over time. I think there's a lot of fear out there over the stability of the US dollar, with 25% of M2 money supply being printed or created in 2020 and probably even more than that in 2021, surprisingly. What I want to add to this is that I'm really investigating what's going to happen to the money supply and what's going to happen with inflation over the next few months. There's some really opposing views on this. Kathy Wood thinks that inflation will rise temporarily but then come back down to earth. Growth companies will take off, things like Bitcoin will take off, and some of the more traditional so-called value stocks will stagnate or fall back. People like Michael Burry are saying that we're prepped for a collapse that's 2 orders of magnitude greater than anything that we've seen. Of course, if you're not familiar with Michael Burry, he's one of the stars of The Big Short, the film. He's played by Batman, Christian Bale in the film, and he's one of the people who actually predicted the great financial crisis in 2008. So he's definitely not someone who we should overlook. He greatly profited and predicted and tried to warn people actually about the financial crisis and the housing market bubble in mortgage-backed securities in 2008. And he's currently warning about a huge market collapse, a collapse in essentially all sectors in the coming possibly months or years. He's kind of been unclear as to exactly when that's going to happen. Unfortunately, it seems like doomsdayers are often unclear with their dates. So if someone can give me an exact date when the market crash is going to happen, please give me a call. I will give you all of my money. So yeah, you can definitely expect a video from me in the next couple of weeks, maybe this week, about what these massive injections of currency are doing to the market and what we can expect from consumer price inflation, what we're looking at for the real estate market, and what I'm seeing for the future of cryptocurrency. But before we end this video, I want to give a price target. So I know that Bitcoin went through what is called a death cross. That means its price dropped twice in a certain period of time and didn't recover. It's kind of flatlined around $32,000 US. There is potential that it could drop as low as $20,000, but I don't think it'll go much lower than that. A lot of people are saying that we've already hit bottom. Bitcoin was heavily heavily shorted, and I think that short position is lessening or will be very soon. I'm actually really excited about it right now, and I'm taking this as an opportunity to nibble. If it goes below 27,000 US per Bitcoin, I'm going to be buying heavily if I can. My goal is to purchase 1 full Bitcoin before the end of 2021, hopefully 2 if the price comes down low enough, and I think there's the potential for that to be worth $500,000 or 1 Bitcoin worth $500,000 within the next 5 years. That could mean that my 2 Bitcoins that I purchased will be worth $1 million in a few years' time. So I'm really excited about that potential. This is my opinion. This is what I'm doing with my own money. So make sure that you do your own research and you understand what you're doing. For now, guys, that's all. I've got to go to bed and get up at 5 in the morning to get an early start and head up to Coal Mountain. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and hit subscribe, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.